So we have our very first proper look at the Gigantoraptor, a brand new creature that's going to be coming to the center on Ark Survival Ascended, and that is going to be coming out at some point this month. We don't know when, but you know, Wildcard must have known it's a leap year, and they have one extra day in this month, so just maybe expect it on the 29th. I'm just saying. Anyway, yeah, this is the Gigantoraptor. It looks really cool. I love the look of this guy right here. Like, we need more like giant, scary feathered theropods. You know, we already have the tickle chicken. Now we're gonna have the I don't even know what to call this thing, but yeah, it looks really cool looking. Definitely a major fan of what we got going on here. I'm just looking at like the regions as well. Like, we can see some interesting stuff here. Definitely excited to do some mutations with these guys. But yeah, so we're gonna be talking about this and a bunch of other Ark news in this video, so go ahead, do me a favor, hit the like button, and yeah, let's get into it. So let's just kind of break down this image just a little bit. Right here, we have a player running with an egg. What is this egg? Because you don't recognize that. It is actually the Gigantoraptor egg that we can pull from nests like this one over here. We also got another one blurred in the background up there as well. But yeah, essentially, this is going to be the way to actually tame these guys. And yeah, obviously, we've got the dossier out for a couple months. It essentially kind of explains it there, but we have our proper confirmation that it is an egg steal instead of, it kind of almost sounded like that they'd already be hatched sitting inside of a nest, and then we had to gain their trust or whatever. But yeah, so it's an egg steal, which I really like. I'm definitely a big fan of these things, but that's going to be really cool because actually the center doesn't even have any egg stealing creatures, so very, very nice. But yeah, so obviously, these guys are going to chase you down if you steal their eggs. Just kind of pretty standard with absolutely everything. The one thing I'm kind of curious about is because these creatures actually like to take in a bunch of orphaned baby dinosaurs. So I'm curious if we're also going to find, you know, a couple random baby dinos at their nests as well. So it might be useful to actually kill the Gigantoraptor because you can't tame them in their adult form. It's not possible. You have to get the eggs. You have to raise them up. But I'm kind of curious if this is like another way of getting a couple other creatures. You know, could we potentially find a Gigantoraptor with a bunch of baby stegos and trikes and stuff? Have no idea, but I think that would be really cool, actually. I would very much enjoy that as a feature. But yeah, obviously, we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, it looks really cool. I'm a major fan of it. In terms of size, you can't really tell from this image right here, but they did release this many months ago. Now, things might have changed a little bit, but it almost looks like roughly the same height. Obviously, you got to realize in the other image, it is leaning down. But when you kind of look at the player's head height, I mean, like, just in general, I feel like that's roughly in line with the claws, which lines up perfectly with this image right here. So yeah, very, very big creature. Very, very scary and probably pretty fast as well. But yeah, super cool looking. I'm a big fan of the actual look that they went with here as well. Like all these like little feathers, almost like a peacock. It looks really, really nice. But yeah, so in terms of whatever else this creature can do, we can, of course, when we get it tamed, we're actually going to be able to use it to help raise our babies in our base and everything. And it sounds almost like this thing will also imprint on those babies, because on the dossier it mentions that if you bring the babies into battle alongside the Gigantoraptor, it's going to have like a bond, and they're going to be able to fight together and defend each other a little bit more effectively. So it almost sounds like anything that you raise in the vicinity of the Gigantoraptor is going to get a special little buff. So think of it as like you're imprinting on the baby, but so is the Gigantoraptor. Hopefully it's not, you know, instead, and hopefully it's in addition to, because I think that wouldn't be very good if it was just like, you know, like our imprint buff is this, but his imprint buff is the same thing, and you can't have two. Hopefully we can get both, but you know, it actually might kind of work out a little bit if this thing had its own imprint buff, and it was like a little bit, like if it was a little bit stronger or something like that, like an extra little bit on top, then it could actually make sense to just like use our massive armies of creatures, because we're not riding on every single creature. And yeah, if they get a little bit stronger, who knows? Yeah, I don't know. I'm just trying to think of like how this kind of fits in, but yeah, regardless, it's going to be a cool creature. It's going to be a key creature on the center for us. Now that may sound very strange, because if you remember, we did not vote for this creature in the center. The Gigantoraptor was for Ragnarok, and this creature right here, the Shastasaurus, was for the center, as you can see in this text right here. This critter is actually being delayed. Jeremy talked a little bit about this on Twitter last week. He kind of just like explained that you know, they needed more time with the submarine aspect of the creature, and they had to obviously rewrite a bunch of code to make it work. And the thing about it, like, you got to realize it's not just as simple as just throwing a fish into the water. It's also got to have like this base on the back, and we've obviously had underwater bases before, but nothing to kind of like this degree right here, where you can see like that's a big area in there, and we're probably going to be able to build a workshop in there and maybe even raise baby dinos in there, and this is all going to be underwater. And from the sounds of it, they kind of want to try and get it right before they get it out. So yeah, obviously they switched it a little bit. Now we don't know when we're getting the Shastasaurus. Hopefully it's still coming to the center, because like I don't usually campaign for creatures, but I was definitely campaigning for a water creature on this map, and yeah, we got it, but now we're not getting it. So what's happening? You know, Ragnarok's got a lot of water as well, but I felt like, you know, the Gigantoraptor almost fit a little bit better in Ragnarok, in my opinion, because it's a land creature, and there's a lot of land on Rag, and obviously in the center there's a lot of water, so that's why we all voted for this thing. But yeah, who knows? Hopefully we'll still get it on the center. Maybe they'll add it at like a later date, and then hopefully they give us something extra for Rag, because I don't know. It would be kind of lame if they were just like, oh yeah, also Gigantoraptor, here you go, because we're all waiting for all these new cool creatures, and they're kind of shuffling the order just a little bit. Regardless, though, I think that that the Shastasaurus is going to be a really cool creature, probably also going to be worth the wait as well, considering everything that it's got going on here. Really cool creature. But yeah, so that is all the news for the center, and the reason why we're not getting this guy. But of course we have some other news, because Scorched is dropping supposedly on April 1st. Don't know why they chose that date out of everything. You know, they could have went with any other date, but they specifically chose that one, and it will be the day after, a year from the announcement of ASA and the massive fallout of all that. So yeah, we're finally getting Scorched then, and this critter right here is actually also going to be part of the Scorched Earth DLC, though not for people who are not going to buy the Frontier Adventure Pack, because it's actually locked to that pack. Now, here's the thing. The pack sounds pretty cool. We're also going to be getting some more cosmetics and stuff like that out of it. We have trains and train tracks coming, shovels for digging up hidden treasure, mini games and stuff like that, a bunch of structure skins. It sounds like they want to make it worth it, but adding in a creature, I feel like it's cool. I'm happy that we're getting this, but yeah, I'm not entirely certain as to whether or not I would appreciate this, like, very much pay to win kind of creature. But you know, we'll see. They have talked a little bit about the actual creature itself, and from the sounds of it, it's not going to be anything that you're going to be able to keep alive on PvP. More than likely, this is going to just be a PvE oasis in the desert. But yeah, so I don't know. Everybody can have their opinions about it. I do kind of think that, if anything, maybe a shoulder pet would have made more sense as the pack, and I'm just still happy that we're getting this, but obviously for people who don't want to buy the pack, it's not going to be a thing for you. And how that's going to work, I have no idea. If you're on single player, you don't have the pack, it's probably not going to spawn. If you're on a server, it's probably going to spawn, but you know, you're not going to be able to tame it. You're not going to be able to probably access it or ride on it. Yeah, so we haven't really had something like this as an actual creature. You know, obviously back in Survival Evolved, if you didn't have Aberration and, you know, you played on Fjordur, you could still ride on the Rock Drakes, you know, but with this, it's going to be completely different, because it's probably going to stop you from like accessing it. You might be able to stand on the back of it, but I don't really know. We're going to have to wait and see. But regardless, though, I think it's a great creature. It looks really cool looking. I love the idea of this actual oasis, and there's even water on the back, which is crazy. Size-wise, you can kind of tell. I mean, if you can't tell, there's a Megalosaur right here. There's a player down here. There's more flying off in the distance. They look really cool. I gotta say, major fan of what they have going on here. Like, it's gonna be really cool. But Scorched, as we knew it, is not the biggest map, and having something this big flying in the air just kind of feels weird. So I don't know. It does sound like they're putting a lot of work into Scorch. We might see an actual expansion of the map, and I think that would be great, because they could expand out the desert a little bit more, add some more dunes kind of, and some other stuff out there. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see. This is, of course, coming April 1st with Scorched Earth, part of that pack. So we obviously don't know price of that just yet, but hopefully we'll get that pretty soon. But yeah, what are you guys' thoughts on this? I talked about this a couple weeks ago when it was first shown, but maybe you didn't catch that during the one live stream that we were doing, because we were live when it dropped. But yeah, that's my thoughts on it. I think it looks really cool. I'm fairly excited to ride around on this thing. The only thing I have a problem with is that they keep adding all these cool things that it's gonna make me want a train base, and it's also gonna make me want a flying Oasisaur base. So yeah, I don't know. Like I don't know what to pick now because this is probably like a later game tame. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like I'm gonna want both of those. So Scorch might be a pretty big series in the channel, actually. Really cool. But yeah, so we've obviously also got some other stuff going on. We have the Physaliceucus also coming for Scorch. We've talked about this guy in the past. I'm not gonna go over it again, but it's a really cool creature also coming. So 2 of those guys for Scorched Earth, which is going to be great. And then the final thing, Love Evolved is happening later. When is it again? It's on the 13th, and it's going to bring a bunch of different cosmetics, a new creature called the Love Bug. So that's going to be an event creature. Don't really know what it's going to do. It's probably going to tie into how you actually get the Valentine's chocolates. And speaking of those chocolates, they were already OP before because you could feed them to a creature and it would give them like 50% on their taming bar, or you could feed them to a creature that you already have tamed that's hurt and it's going to fully heal them. Now they also actually can be fed to creatures to reduce their mating cooldown timer by 20% of the remaining time. So really cool. The only thing about them is you cannot spam them. I think it's like an 8-hour like difference or whatever. Like you can use one and then you got to wait another 8 hours before you can use another. So yeah. Also, that looks like Winston. Anyway, that's pretty much it for this video, guys. If you enjoyed it, hit the like button. Just wanted to kind of go over all of the new stuff happening right now, and yeah, hopefully you enjoyed it. So yeah, catch you in the next one. Hopefully we'll have an ARK video pretty soon. I'm so sorry. I've been working on a really big video and it's not ARK. But yeah, I'm hoping to have that ready pretty soon because it's turning out very, very good so far. But yeah, we'll get back into some ARK soon. Maybe, I don't know. We'll see when the Center's coming out. Honestly, I'll probably go pretty hard on that one. I'm actually really excited for it. And the Gigantoraptor as well. Just the island, you know, the island's always been the island. It looks prettier now, but it's kind of just the same thing. So I don't know. I'm just not super enthused, but pretty enthused for the Center, actually. So anyway, that's it. I'll catch you in the next one.